Josie suggested that I throw coffee over my laptop again just for giggles. So let's see how that goes. Okay, I am going to talk tomorrow about goal, attack, thwart, and what that means. But I want to talk to you a bit about writing to market and editorial control. We had a fascinating situation this week where I got rewritten first chapters from a writer. And, you know, our lives are complicated. Everybody's life is complicated. We are all dealing with all manner of crap. And they hadn't seen that I had written comments and done edits to their chapter. So I got their rewrite. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, wow, did they just ignore everything that I did? Because we need to talk about that. And it turned out that wasn't what had happened at all. There was a crisis in the family. They were called away. They didn't see my notes at all. And they worked hard on their chapter. But it led me to this realization that I have been talking to you in English. And that might not have served us. Because in these weeks of planning, I've been saying things like, I strongly suggest, and it might be a good idea if. And they, in British English, mean do this. But that's not what it sounds like. And I think of myself as really well trained. You know, I worked in a corporate environment for a long time. I worked with bankers. I am used to extremely straight talk. But of course, there's a level at which I don't want to come off as an asshole. And so I've said things like, you know, it would be a really good idea if you worked on your timeline. Probably that's something that you want to think about, instead of saying, nail this to the wall, because without this, you're screwed. You're going to be so lost in a couple of weeks. Or saying, for example, this is a trope. You got to hit this trope. You can't go wandering off into the weeds where you're going right now. And what I haven't said is, if I make a suggestion, it's not actually a suggestion. Because we are learning to write to market. And Micah knows this market. He really knows this market. And he is the last word. But I know something about it. And I am aiming you right in the middle of the scattergraph of all the ways that you can write post-apoc. Which is one of the reasons I steered you away from Melt, is because Melt is an outlier. There's way more interiority in Melt than there is in most post-apoc. And I want you hitting the major markers, both of the tropes and the storytelling styles. And that's what I'm going to be pushing you towards. So, when I make a suggestion, I'm being a bit English, and also a little bit trying not to come off as an asshole. But in fact, I have a will of absolute steel. Oh my God. I am not here, in spite of the fact that I love you, I am not here to be your friend. I am here to make sure that your story is the absolute best story that it can be. And I'm going to push you really hard. I'm going to push you on the page. I'm going to show you why what you're doing isn't hitting the marker that we need it to hit. And I'm going to train you in a certain storytelling style. Now, it's not going to be your voice and it's not going to be your style purely, but a lot of you is going to be in there. And if you want to write to market and you want to sell books, this is something that you're going to have to learn. Chances are that you already read really widely in your own genre, and you know how to differentiate between a Sue Grafton and a Chelsea Kane. You know how those land in Mysteryland, and how one is super gritty and dark, and the other is much, much lighter, but still not a cozy. You know how to differentiate those things, but you've come into post-apoc because you're a kind soul, and you don't know how to differentiate those things. So you're going to need to trust me. It's going to be hard. There are going to be times when you get feedback and you absolutely don't understand what I'm going for. We're going to be writing really fast. I am not going to do what my beloved editor does, which is to gently explain, this is totally, totally genius and this is why this works. If I don't say something is broken, it means it's brilliant and beautiful and don't futz with it. And that's a bit hard. But with 26 writers and with 5 teams writing a 6-book series each, over 6 months, there's zero chance that I can stop and say, you are brilliant and beautiful and I love you. So I'm just going to have to do it periodically in a video because it's not going to be on the page. You are going to get me batting you back into shape to get this to be the absolute best book that you can write. I am going to tell you a little story. I know a writer, extraordinarily talented, beautiful writer, had a great first trad book, won prizes, made money, and they have written at least 2 more books for their agent. So they're agented, and they've written 2 books for their agent, and their agent has been like, don't hate me, but I'm not feeling it. That's the level of feedback that they're getting. They are getting, I'm not feeling it. And so they rewrite it. And you hear this in trad. You hear that they don't get particularly specific feedback, and they have to, just like us, they have to work out the market, and they have to work out what's selling now, and they have to work out what it is they are not delivering. And so those writers are writing 7, 8, 9 iterations of that book before it ends up in Barnes & Noble and Costco and, all the big places that you want books to be if you're writing trad. Here, Micah has an audience who understand what they love what they love, and we deliver what they love, and we make money delivering what they love. And my job is to get you to write what our audience loves. So if I come off a bit heavy in the next couple of weeks, it's because I'm practicing not talking English, and because I think I've led us a little bit astray by saying, gosh, maybe you should, or I strongly suggest, instead of saying, absolutely not. You want no more than 3 POV characters in a book. You are not George R.R. Martin. You are not having 5 POV characters in one book. There is zero chance that we have got the time or skill to tie those up by the end of book 6. 3 years are maximum, absolutely maximum. So those kind of things are going to come out a bit harder while I practice saying, actually, this is the law. This is the law because this is our land and we want to deliver for our audience. And I will be really specific and I will do my best to explain. I never do anything capriciously. I never do anything out of spite. I never do anything because of you. Everything that I do is about the reader and about the reader experience and about delivering a certain kind of post-apoc. So I hope you're okay with that. I hope you will cut me a little bit of slack because I'm learning too. And tomorrow we will come back with Goal, Thwart, Attack.